Hello, everybody, and welcome to my channel. Hope you guys are having a great Friday afternoon. We're living in beautiful, great times. There's always the opportunity to improve, and we're all improving now, and I think that's great, really exciting. Mind you, that I actually did write some things today. They weren't that difficult to kind of put together, but either way, we're having well. Couple of just tidbits here, and I'm just running them through my head here and there. There are lots of things to say for, I guess, everybody. But if you notice, once in a while, I just drop a video where these actually look really interesting. Where it's just like stuff, right? That just kind of comes out. I had a few in the past, and they work just fine. They serve their purpose. Someone's answers given. So kind of different form if I were used to make my Q&As. So we have a few things that we're going to improve, right? We are going to, and then this is always on the fly, and I actually wrote things down, but it's not what I'm saying. Either way, I guess it's just better for me this way. Either way, we have to move the whole planet to the fifth dimension. Almost saying fourth, but there's this demonic energy that nobody really wants to deal with at this time. Like, we're smart enough as a global community to know that maybe we don't want to go there. Again, I like to just definitely not saying anything, but watch some of my older videos, and you'll hear me say things that now are gonna just start to make sense for you. So thank you for watching for this long. How was that? All right, so basically we have to all go to the fourth dimension, and that's a good thing. And then pass to the fifth dimension. The fourth dimension is more like the Dark Ages, and that's one way to put it plainly on a color palette, whichever is coolest on that level, which is blue or light blue. Remember, blue or light blue. If the lights came on, we'd be blue or light blue, in the sense that the awareness as a whole is getting there. So and then we get yellow. You've seen yellow. You'll get yellow and orange, and I don't know, maybe some pink in there before it goes into like clear or white, whichever way. So it looks like the prism, and then the fifth dimension, within that same kind of within that same theme or scale, we can say that the fifth dimension also has its lessons as a whole for humanity. It has its ups and downs. It has its phases where you can tell, but it's not too different, because I mean, we're only jumping from three, and this is where it gets a little sketchy, but it does make sense for everyone, or at least it makes sense for me that I can explain it to you like this. But it's easy to just get there, so it won't feel as different as you would like. So the planet needs more oxygen. That's what we need, so we can function at a higher mental level, each and every single one of us. Right? We're going to the fifth. We're going to avoid the fourth, because every time there's there's a situation where there's like, you channel like demons, you hear things you don't want to hear from these guys, and unfortunately it's happened again, but I will get to that later. Either way, I'd like for you guys to know that we need more oxygen on the planet to make it better. So and if you're not like on a farm, or have a plot where you think you could put a flower or something that grows and gives off oxygen, then that would be great. Some others would want to maybe put some money towards saving the rainforest, okay, or something that's unimaginable, equal to your expense, where you don't think like you're going to go broke in a year if you start helping save the forests, maintain the forests, right? That kind of thing. Okay, so that's one of the important things that I wanted to mention, because I've always tried to make these videos, um, positive in as much as I can. So then there's the spectrum, and then there's the higher lessons. The way to get there is through oxygen, right? So if you remember that box that I put out there from my previous videos, they do have a lot of individuals for themselves that can portray an image where you think you might know where this place is that I mentioned before, but it's not there. So you're about a 3-degree bidirectional axis. Well, so this is as far as my heart content allows me to thrive. In that case, so follow what I've just said, and I think you'll have a much better time, and it's just gonna be awesome for you. So there you go. All right. I'm not even gonna get to the conversation that we had for the fourth dimension, which is unfortunate here, but it's not that I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to feed into that kind of stuff. All right. Let's see. What else? Well, nothing. I mean, I think I've said a lot in very short video that almost everyone can understand and agree with. This is just a brief Q&A. A part of the fifth dimension too is that everyone's gonna have telepathy as well. So it kind of takes a lot of practice. And then the breathing exercise that you have to do for that is what you need to focus on. Instead of making a video or in any single way, like break it down where it takes you time to understand what I have to say. It's less inconvenient for me if I don't assist every single one of you right away, because there's a lot of good things with charity. There's a lot of good things with giving back. And I've mentioned this before. So once you contribute positively in that way, then you'll find yourself feeling lighter. That feeling of lightness is weird. You're walking with a new pair of sneakers today, right? How does that feel? Right? Just you're off balance. You're not quite clearly thinking. Your thoughts might feel like they extend out further outside of your head, or something like that. But you should go get yourself checked out, my friend. So you might be getting some dizzy spells or something. Either way, what I'd like to say is that that's part of the fifth dimension. That's one way to get assisted more in telepathy. And how do we feel less like we're, in a state of mind that's not comfortable? So you have to build that kind of comfort when you start moving into this dimension. You're seasoned, you're prepped, you're ready to go. The chef is handing out plates. He comes over with a bowl. He serves you your pasta. There's a sweet pasta sauce. There's the meatballs. There's the food. And you're just like this step away. All I gotta do is grab the fork, start taking a bite, look at your friends around you and say, we fucking did it. That's gonna be awesome, and I can't wait for you guys to get there. Every single one of us. There's tons of people in this planet that can get us there so quickly and can be the shining beacon of light that guides the way. Alright? And I've always said this before. USA is going to be #1, which is pretty cool. So, where we find the kind of DNA that allows us to quickly put yourself in a scenario, and I'm saying the light part of this. I'm saying the light part of it, not anything else about it. It's just important to kind of start clearing the air now. So you're going to pretty much just damn, I struck a thought there for a second. You're going to move into this energy, right? So you need to find the kind of people that can have this sort of ability to contact, let's say, uh, be connected more with the nature, so that you're in contact with with your environment in a different way. So I mentioned this earlier. I don't see my plant there like a plant. It feels like it's alive in a very unique way. You would know and you'd understand. So the DNA of people that are going to be awesome is found in the Caribbean. The Caribbean, because of Atlantis, a lot of those souls started to incarnate very near for where Atlantis drowned or sunk. Now, I just know that it's Atlantis and it could be Lemuria at the same time they existed. But whichever piece of mass land is underneath these two, that big body of water, then is where we want to put our focus in. If it's Atlantis or if it's Lemuria, I can't remember. But still, the Caribbean people, not just the color of their skin, their soul is molded into the culture of the Caribbean islands. And then you have people that are just as shocked as you would be if they'd know that they have these kind of special abilities, right? So I think that answers someone else's question. Let's see, what was I thinking? That's it. I mean, like, I want to skip the fourth dimensional stuff. I trying to think as I go and make the video less longer than it should be, but we definitely are poised for success. Thank you guys for watching.